This is the first morning that we've had mist. Hopefully this is a sign that autumn is here, because the past few days have been so hot. But it feels a little bit cool this morning. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful autumn. Nice and cool in the morning. We've got that morning mist that's hanging down. Ideal time for foliar spraying. So that's the job for this morning. So here we are. Let's get Trevor the tractor out. One day I'll get this tidied up. But at least I know where everything is. Or at least that's what I keep telling myself. Hey up, son. That's it. So we've got a whole heap of potty mix there. Ready for the weekend. Angela's got a long weekend, Easter weekend. So I've got to start and blend that ready. And then we'll be potting up a heap of jackfruit seedlings. We will give this a few more revs. So yeah, we've got some more to plant out. I think it's about another 80, but then the plan is we'll pot some up so that we can graft some in the nursery in case there's any that we'll lose out in the paddock. Now that we are managing to beat the wallabies, the grasshoppers, the spider mites, hopefully we'll have a really good year this year in terms of grafting, getting the trees grafted. Get this tank filled up and we are foliar spraying. Let's start filling the tank. Go and measure out my fertilizer. Measure out my fertilizer, which is micronutrients. Must remember to put these back in the kitchen because they are Angela's scales. And if I forget to take them back, I will pay for it. So in terms of foliar fertilising trees, you use 0.1%. So 100 grams per 100 litres, which isn't a lot, but this is, I do it sort of semi-frequently anyway, and this is all the micronutrients. You know, when, like sometimes you'll see leaves on trees going a bit yellowish or patchy or something, that's generally your micronutrients or lack of. So because we predominantly use organic matter, truck manure, there's no guarantee that all of the micronutrients are there. So that little bit of foliar fertilising is just, I suppose, edging my bets, making sure everything's healthy, and to be honest, the trees always look good. So now I need a wetter so that everything sticks to the leaves. Okay, so this is going to take probably 10-15 minutes more to start to fill up. Always make sure it's kind of half full before I start to add anything, so that there's plenty of liquid there for everything to dissolve into. So while that's happening, it's time for a very quick walk around the paddock to open up valves or close valves where we were irrigating yesterday, open up the valves for this morning, so that as soon as I've finished the foliar fertilizing, I can turn the irrigation on there. Then I need to get down to the fire to hopefully make sure that that's still going. Haven't really got much in the way of big logs to burn, or well, what's left this morning. I haven't had a look, so it's more the small stuff now. So that's all the valves closed and opened and ready for the irrigation to be turned on. Where are we at with the tank? Oh, don't know if you can see, but that's the level there. So we're just under 250 litres. So let's get mixing. Always like to start the engine just for the last 10 minutes of the tank filling. I really don't like to engage the PTO until everything's warmed up nicely, because it puts load on the engine and everything, and there's not much more to go in there. And then we'll get off spraying. Hey ho, let's go. Engine's nicely warming up. Get the tank up. Engage PTO. So we just head off down the orchard now. PTO's just on now, just help to mix everything while we're on our way, and then I'll up the revolutions per minute once I get down there. Okay, so that's more than enough revs, and let's get going. On with the spray, and then just a nice steady drive around the orchard. Hopefully you can see the trees do look good, but I've got to get into this trellised part of the orchard and try and get them opened up. It's really not easy, because you've got to be careful not to take off the male flowers, otherwise you're not going to get good fruit set. But in the same breath, you've got to open them up to get some light in there. Ooh. Loads and loads of fruit there. So does everybody drop the revs before disengaging the PTO? Don't know why, but I always do. And now I can give the engine a good run on the way back up. That's everything all sprayed, all the micronutrients. That now got to get the irrigation on and check on the fire. It hasn't really burnt the big logs though, not last night. Probably not enough decent wood to keep burning, because it's mostly just that African tulip left now. Tractor I'll leave out because of the foliar spray and the micronutrients. Hope you can hear me. It can be quite corrosive if you're not careful. So give it a rinse off before I put it away. Make the mower out, give him a good cleaning as well. And really it's getting into pruning those trees and thinning out the fruit, because some of the trees have got a lot of fruit on them. So let that cool down until I give it a wash off. It's not dirty, it's just, like I say, the corrosiveness of sometimes with the foliar fertiliser, especially the back end, that it's going to get exposed more. So up now to put the irrigation on, then have a walk around, make sure all the heads are working, then onto the fire, and then get on with washing the tractor and the mower off. Parked up in the shade, so shouldn't be too bad. So Operation Fire, we're into day 5. So it's been burning for 100 and something hours, and it's still going, and still got a bit of small stuff here to burn. All the big logs are done, so that won't take long for that to burn, and just a little bit here. Then Angela says I've got to wait a little bit before I drop these. So once all this burning is done, back onto pruning. Day 6 of Operation Fire. The stump is getting slowly smaller. The roots are beginning to burn back just here. It is a pile, but a lot of that pile is actually ash and sort of charcoal. As you can see at the back there, the African tulip, it kind of doesn't burn, it just slowly turns to ash. Yeah, really not nice stuff. I'm going to go and get some lunch. Cleared up that big pile of wood, that's all burnt. I can get in now and mow down here. Listen to the birds in the background. There's one, the squeaky one, is the lorikeets. They've moved in, which is a sign that the rambutans are getting close to picking, because they like to come in and they will decimate a tree in no time at all. So it's afternoon time. I strategically parked the trailer full of potting mix so that it would be in the shade. So what we're doing now is mixing the potting mix with that white stuff, is perlite. Just helps to stop the soil from getting all sort of sludgy at the bottom of the pot. So these are the pots that we use for trees, especially when we're going to be grafting them, because when the tree's ready to plant out, the roots are filling the pot. You don't want them circling round and round and becoming root bound. But when you think about if you're grafting trees in a pot, then the tree's got to be big enough to graft. Then you've got to grow the grafted tree on, so it's spending a long time in a pot. So these pots are a wavy edge which guides the roots out here, and then the slots there help to air prune the roots. As soon as the roots touch air, they'll just burn off. So that's the reason that we're using these. Is Stumpy coming to help, I see. Hello, Stumps. So I'm mixing all this up, and Angela is planting up the seedlings into the nursery. Then we'll give them a good wetting first, and then the overhead sprinklers will come on probably every other day, every third day. That's just a little bit of fertiliser Angela's putting in the pot.
So Ian is just watering in all of these seedlings that we've potted up. These are all jackfruit seedlings, and now that we've almost finished planting out the paddock area, these are spare ones that we'll grow on in the nursery and then hopefully graft in the nursery, so that if we do have any issues with the ones out in the paddock, any failures, we've got stock to replace them with. But we have
We're
almost
on top of the wallabies now, so we shouldn't have that many misses in the paddock.
on top of the wallabies, and then the grasshoppers and the red spider mites seem to have been taken care of.
Yes.
I was planting out today some of the leftover rows down in the paddock, and the misses that I was replacing, so the plants that had got attacked by red spider mites, I'd gone to replace, and Ian had drenched with neem oil, and when I went to replace those plants there was no evidence of red spider mites there. So I think the neem oil is doing its job. So hopefully everything that's out there now will survive, and then we just need to have good success with grafting. That's the next step.
Those will be long days.
Those will be long days. So yeah, finishing off now, watering all of these in. These have all just been planted. And then I reckon it is time for a well-earned beer.
Beer o'clock time.
Definitely. And then watch the football. Do it all again tomorrow.
Thanks very much for watching, and if you've stayed this long, if you could like and share, and we'll tell the world all about jackfruits.
Bye now.
Cheers.